Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump took a shot at Elizabeth Warren, a pretty ugly shot, by referring to her as the Indian at a press conference. Elizabeth Warren has been on a tear on interviews and on Twitter, urging people not to vote for Donald Trump, saying that Trump is a threat if he even gets anywhere close to the presidency. And she went on Twitter.
She also called him a loser.
She also went on Twitter and called Donald Trump a loser. Donald Trump asked about these comments at a press conference. Here's how he responded.
And then let me ask, you heard a little bit about what Hillary Clinton said this morning in her comments to AIPAC. Also, Elizabeth Warren today.
Should we restart that, Lewis? I don't think we've got an audio level there where we can hear what she said.
Let's
see if we can go back to the beginning on this one.
We can. You see, it's just that the person asking the question is almost inaudible, but you can hear Donald Trump.
Let's take a listen to it again.
Let me see if I can boost this a little bit here. Okay, here we go.
And then let me ask, you heard a little bit about what Hillary Clinton said this morning in her comments to AIPAC. Also, Elizabeth Warren today on social media went after you, calling you a loser. How are you going?
Who's that, the Indian? You mean the Indian?
Are you prepared to deal with that kind of sustained attack from both sides?
Look, it's very simple. I have more votes than anybody. And if you take away the fact that I had 17 people, we had 17 people that I was going against, and add some of that back. You know, Hillary essentially had one. We started off with 17. I have more votes than anybody. More votes have come in the primaries to me than anybody else.
So we talked about political incorrectness versus just being rude and offensive last week. And we had a hard time sort of defining when it's political incorrectness and when it's just being rude and offensive. But we sort of agreed, Lewis, you know it when you see it. Referring to Elizabeth Warren as the Indian is not political incorrectness. It's just rude and offensive.
That's Donald Trump's, that's his forte, I guess. But can we say that this is fair because she called him a loser?
I don't think so. No, I mean, this is, of course, a reference to Elizabeth Warren being...
We're getting racial now.
Was it 132nd or 164th, I believe, Cherokee? Now, of course, Indian hasn't been a reasonable term for Native Americans for a very, very long time. But what on earth? That's like basically saying, oh, you mean the black guy? Is that what you mean? And that would be completely unacceptable under any circumstances to say, hey, oh, Mr. President, Congressman, or not Mr. President, Mr. Trump, God forbid, Lewis, that's at some point what Donald Trump is referred to. Mr. Trump, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries from Brooklyn has questioned your plan on fighting ISIS. You mean the black guy from New York City? Is that the guy you're talking about? That would obviously be completely unacceptable. For some reason, though, some people thinking it's okay to say the Indian when referring to Elizabeth Warren.
Well, the whole I'm Native American thing did cause quite a stir.
Yeah.
And I think it's more disrespectful in that he's not even referring to her position or her name or anything about her that is relevant in this situation.
I like how Trump complains all the time about how the U.S. is too divided and he's going to unite people. And he refers to one of 100 senators as the Indian. That's the way he's going to unite people, by referring to a senator as the Indian.
Divisive. Just more divisive rhetoric from Donald Trump.
When my little sister was 6, I thought it was sort of funny to ask her adult questions and see how she responded. Like I'd say, hey, have you done your taxes? Are you taking the standard deduction or are you itemizing? And she, just her reaction. Kids have no clue what you're talking about. I feel like sometimes Trump is asked political questions and he responds with just whatever words he most recently read in a magazine. And it has no connection to the question he's asked. It's like talking to a kid in many ways.
It's sort of the same way that George W. Bush would respond to questions, isn't it?
There are some similarities between the way Trump handles questions and the way George W. Bush handled questions. Yeah, I don't think that's a crazy comparison. Send me your thoughts on this. I'm on Twitter at @Pakman. Lewis is on Twitter at LewisMotomedy. Warby Parker is offering a free 5-day home try-on to give you the opportunity to check out their glasses. I personally wear Warby Parker glasses when I'm not wearing my contact lenses. And I also started with one of these free at-home try-ons of 5 pairs of glasses. You can get your free home try-on and support the David Pakman Show at warbyparkertrial.com/TDPS. I don't really like going into glasses stores and trying on glasses while the salesperson sort of hovers over me. And I like more than 30 seconds to actually figure out whether I like the glasses. So with the Warby Parker home try-on, I was able to pick 5 pairs that I liked.
put them on in the comfort of my own home, pick the one I like the most, and then Warby Parker put my prescription lenses in there for me. A lot of people don't know that the eyeglass industry is controlled by just a few big corporations that keep prices very high, like $300 for prescription glasses high, which is just insane. Warby Parker glasses start at $95. That's what mine cost. And for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need. You can try 5 pairs and see what you like. Check out the at-home trial and support our show by going to warbyparker.com/TDPS. It costs nothing.